come back home now, and the competition watchdog is again looking into whether information sharing between major fuel retailers amounts to price fixing.
Our reporter in Sydney has taken to the streets to find out what consumers think.
It's a fantastic idea. I'm sure that the prices can come down, and I think living in Australia where there's a great wealth around, I'm sure there's a lot of oil and petrol that could be a lot cheaper.
Yeah, not a bad idea.
What do you think causes the high prices?
Not sure, really. I'm not sure. It just keeps going higher and higher. It's crazy.
There is something going on. There are areas where prices are high, and then you go to different areas where the prices are low. So it's a bit like groceries, I suppose, where geographical areas suffer because of socioeconomic grades, I suppose.
Those are the thoughts of some people in Sydney. Now, the NRMA Motoring and Services Director Alan Evans joins us in the studio. Good morning. Now, what will this inquiry look at, and how will it differ from so many previous inquiries into petrol prices?
Well, they're going to look at a system called Informed Sources, which is a closed web system run by the oil companies or paid for by the oil companies, which allows oil company controlled sites to actually put all the information in real time about the price of the petrol they're selling, and that way they can check on each other. This way we'll say, are they using that to actually lessen competition, to say that I know what you're going to charge so I can alter my price. I don't have to get in a darkened room or get on the telephone, and therefore you and I, the consumer, don't have that information. It's what's called an information asymmetry. They have the information, we don't, but if we had the information, we could make informed choices about where we bought petrol. And I'm quite sure if it was open to the public, someone would very quickly develop an app for an iPhone or one of those and make sure you could find the nearest and cheapest petrol when you needed it.
So this is an online service that tells you individual service stations how much the...
Oh, absolutely, and in real time.
Yeah.
That's the beauty. I mean, I change my prices. I'm running a service station. I change my prices. My competitor or the opposition around the corner knows instantly what I'm charging, whether I've changed it up or down, and they can alter their prices accordingly. So in a sense, we can collude without actually having to collude.
But then there are systems in place or programs in place, like in WA, that have a fuel watch system, which gives people information about what the petrol prices will be at their nearest service station the following day.
Yeah, that's an after the event sort of system. This one is in real time. So if you had that information in real time, because they do change the prices during the day and they change it from day to day. So if you had that information, you could make a better choice. But the thing is, the independents, for example, and we know when independent service stations are in the market, you get some more competition. They're not part of the system, so they don't have access to the same information. So they actually have to chase around to find out what their competitors are doing.
So if you can collude without colluding, then how on earth is anyone going to police it?
Well, I think they've got to open the system up. That's the best way to make sure that we actually get real competition. This system has to be opened up so that you and I and the public and people who can provide the information in a form that we can use can have access to the information and make sure we get real competition.
So change should be driven by people paying more attention and choosing where to go for $1 less.
Oh, absolutely. And when you look at the price of petrol today, and we need petrol so much in this country because we're a nation that's very reliant on cars and trucks to move goods and people, that we need to make sure we can save $1 here and $1 there because life's getting tough and petrol's getting dearer.
The fuel companies would say that in order to bring that their prices of their fuel is affected by overseas factors and the price of oil.
Yeah, look, it is, but it's a very complex system we have in this country related to the price of a particular type of fuel in Singapore, which is what's called the reference price. That then affects the price they can charge in Australia. It's on a rolling 7-day cycle. It's a very complex system which you and I, the average consumer, just don't understand. All we see is what we're paying at the service station, and we have the high days and the low days, and we used to have a regular cycle. Tuesday used to be the low day. That's now changed. You're now getting 9, 10, 11 and 12-day cycles. So as the consumer, we have no ability to make informed choices or make the right choices to when we should fill up.
Is it right to say that the governments have no control over this?
Oh, absolutely none. Absolutely none. And we've been asking, the ACCC to make sure they look at this system because we think technology is being used to beat the law. And I have to say, I think with the new chairman of the ACCC, who's clearly got the interests of consumers at heart, we're now seeing this system probe very deeply as it should be.
So you're confident that there will be changes at the end of this inquiry, which they haven't said how long it will take or when they're likely to
Look,
deliver
I
any kind
hope
of
there'll be
findings?
changes. I'm not confident. When it comes to petrol and the power of the petrol companies, I'm never confident. We have to keep a good eye on them all the time. We have to fight hard.
Alan Evans, thanks for your time this morning.
My pleasure.